To Wicked Wands Tarot. My name is Carmen. Today we've got a reading for you about somebody that is struggling to keep moving forward or struggling to let you go. And there's been an argument on their mind or some disagreement that you had hasn't really set well with them. They've had to go within and do some introspection, and I think initially they might have been a bit hesitant to do so. But because they miss you as much as they do, they have had to kind of challenge themselves to take a little bit of a deeper dive into what they said, what they did, and probably what they did wrong. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime chime. And I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box for you, as is more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. Hello, Nat Nat. How you doing? Hello, I am. What's up? What should we start with? Oh, and I did get candles put up on Etsy. I've noticed you can't really find me via Google. You can't really find me if you search for the exact keywords in Etsy. So I'm a little bit irritated with that. So I might post the direct link for you all if you are interested. All right, let's get the Pulp Tarot. Hello, Christine, or Kristen. How are you doing? Hello, Santiago. Good morning, Lee. I was happy to get your email. Will he be vengeful? And what should I worry about? And, oh, and the same thing, okay. I've got that for you, Lee. Thank you for the tip. Hello, Third Eye. How's your weekend going? Yes, happy Saturday. Hello, Key Controller. Hello, Enfrance. How we doing? All right, what else do we have? Six of Cups in the reverse, Three of Pentacles in the reverse, Knight of Cups, and the Hanged Man. So you may have been dealing with somebody that was very indecisive, or a person who couldn't make up their mind. With the Three of Pentacles in this particular deck, we have somebody who's clearly strategizing, right? Like, this makes me think of when I was a kid playing Risk with my cousins. You know, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to conquer this land, blah, blah, blah. This is somebody who overthinks or overanalyzes and feels like they don't have enough information. And it's a pattern for them with the Six of Cups in the reverse. This is something that I feel they've struggled to break away from as far as how they approach romance or how they approach difficult conversations. This could just be about a friendship or a family connection where we have somebody that feels like, you know, I haven't done right by that person. I haven't been a good friend, or I haven't been honest with them. For many of you, though, this is a romantic connection. We have the Knight of Cups, which can talk about, like, you know, romantic intentions. With the Hanged Man and the Page of Swords, I feel like this is either saying we have somebody who didn't want to say the thing that they needed to say, whether that was, you know, you're important to me and I want you to be in my life, or, you know, I'm in love with you and I want to, like, actually be your partner. It's snowing there? I won't lie, I'm glad that it's not snowing here. Although it is fairly cold, I don't think it's cold enough for that. We have the Eight of Pentacles. So this person who realizes that they've made a lot of mistakes with you and misses you deeply has been trying to focus on work. So this could be somebody who works overtime. This could be somebody who's got like a project around the house, or maybe they're working on a novel, but they've been trying to dive into things to busy their mind because they don't want to think about how they do really miss you. That's true. It is good exercise. We've got the Queen of Cups in the reverse. So this is going to be what I call them. This person does not have to be a woman. Keep in mind that the tarot is not talking about gender. But we do have someone who struggles with that loving connection, or with that like being a little bit softer with people, right? Hello, Zats. How you doing today? Let me write that down for you. What are Dwight's next intentions this week, or next actions? Sorry, next actions this week. What should I do about the whole situation? And holy crap, I did accidentally hit the mute button. Thank you for saying that. I honestly, like, I saw that there's like the little microphone symbol there, but I don't think I've ever hit that button. Can you hear me now? Should I be... Okay, good. All right. I was gonna impersonate the Verizon dude there. Can you hear me now? Yeah, that happens sometimes, Key Controller. So we've got the Two of Swords. This is someone who didn't want to look at the reality of the situation and also didn't make a decision. The Two of Swords is about a crossroads. Am I going to go right? Am I going to go left? Or backwards, right? Or go nowhere. This is a person who kept changing their mind, and I feel like their argumentative energy towards you pushed you to feel like this wasn't really worth your effort, or that the only way this would work is if this person took the initiative, right? Accountability is important, and you can't like sign other people up for that. It's, I think, kind of the same thing as being able to trust someone, but yeah. Hello, Steven. How are you doing? Hello, Gara. How are you doing? Hello, Lorraine. Thank you, ladies. So we've got the Lovers in the reverse, the Emperor in the reverse, and the Seven of Swords in the reverse. This is like, uncle, okay, you got me. I probably should tell you what really happened. I guess I can't control the situation. I can't control the fact that I have emotions, or that I miss you, or that I feel bad about how things happened. So I guess what I have to do is come clean. I can't just sit over here and pretend like I feel good about how I treated you or how things ended. And you're probably waiting for me to apologize because I was the one who made these mistakes. So I don't think this is somebody who's like super, like they're not winning any awards for taking responsibility for their actions. They like to just, you know, like Neo in the Matrix, like, oh, no, not me. Hey, Q, that is not what my gift is for, but nonetheless, I wish you luck in your financial pursuits. So we've got the Ace of Swords in the reverse, the Knight of Pentacles, and the King of Cups. If I want to be in this person's life, romantically or platonically, whatever your connection is, this person's like, I guess I have to be like more in control of my emotions, and I have to consider long-term impacts of when we get into an argument, how well I do at understanding what needs to change or how that other person feels. This feels to me like someone realizing, ooh, I might actually suck at emotions and conflict. I can eat food. Maybe I can sing or dance, but with conflict, Nope, I'm very bad. Okay, I guess I was the problem. I'm the villain. All right, so hopefully this means we have someone that is digging in on that healing. Why is it so difficult for me to be held accountable? Why is it that, I don't like to apologize? Seven of Swords in the reverse, Seven of Wands in the reverse, Two of Wands in the reverse, and the Five of Rings, or the Five of Pentacles. So I think if you're watching this channel, there's a pretty good chance that at some point in your life, you've had one of these moments where you're like, ugh, I should not have done that. That was a bad idea. And now I have to apologize because I did something silly. I have to own that. And if I don't, it's probably going to mean that that person doesn't want to connect with me anymore, right? Hello, Ruben. How are you doing? I'm pretty sure stonks is a reference to an old meme with the stick figure dude, right? And the meh, meh, meh. Hello, Soul Searching. How are you doing? Hello, Amy. How's your day going? Look, this is someone who's feeling a little bit vulnerable because either I say what I usually avoid saying, I do something that's a little bit out of character and accept responsibility for this, or I accept that I lose this person. This no contact situation could end up becoming permanent. They might decide they don't need to talk to me. They don't need to be in my life because of how I treated them. So this is at least acknowledgement of that, right? It is a little bit dark in here, so I'm lighting another candle. Go for it. Come on now. All right, hopefully that helps a little bit. Hello, Abominable Plumber. That's a pretty excellent username. How are you doing? Hello, Brian. I don't know, not as much in the summer. It's too cold for a tank top today. Queen of Wands and the Eight of Swords. I do feel like in this person's absence, you've been able to do relatively well. This is indicating that you're not over here like pulling your hair out or pacing at night, unable to sleep because you're wondering about whether or not this person's going to come back around. If that's who you are, this is probably not your reading. This is someone who's looking at you as the Queen of Wands. They feel like you're going to be fine regardless of what their decision is. If I decide to just keep in this Six of Cups in the reverse and, be a little bit immature and refuse to accept accountability on something, you're going to be like, okay, whatever. No skin off my, I've already had to accept that you weren't willing to apologize or have that conversation, or I've already had to basically conceptualize how life would be if this person is not my partner or is not in my life, even though, I was close to my sister or I was, trying to be a good best friend. This is someone who's saying, I've done what I could, but I was dealing with someone who was blindfolded. I was dealing with somebody like that Two of Swords, right? Dealing with somebody who didn't want to see the reality of the situation because that reality would have demanded that they do something about it, that they change their behavior. So they'd rather be like, la, 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 la. Can't hear you. What's up, Shaggy? Hello, Pri. How we doing today? Hey, what's up, Ike? I hope you're enjoying your weekends. All right, so we have the King of Rings or the King of Pentacles in the reverse and the Knight of Swords. I feel this is the conversation with themselves. Hey, I'm unhappy, or things are frustrating, or it's difficult to focus because I know I have to go have this conversation, because I know I have to tell the truth, because I know I have to admit that maybe, I blamed you, but it was really my fault, or blame circumstances, right? Oh, I sure hope not, Amy. Thank you for the tip. Let me add that for you, though. And thank you for answering those questions, Rachel. All right, what else do we have? We have the Queen of Swords in the reverse, the Moon in the reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles or the Ace of Rings in the reverse. Okay, so I feel like for most of you, you see this individual as somebody who is dishonest. You see them as thinking they're kind of clever, hiding their motivations or hiding the, things that they said or the things that they did. But they're not as crafty as they think they are. You've been able to figure this out. You've been able to make this decision. So I feel like this is actually them saying, you know what? This person's already kind of seen through me. I don't have the option of continuing to pretend. I don't have the option of like perpetuating the illusion that it was somebody else's fault. This person's onto me. So part of the reason they're doing this introspection and thinking about like, what do I maybe need to change is because you were like, your lies are not working anymore. See, I've heard that one before, and then it ended up being not true. So you see how it's a little bit difficult for me to believe you? Maybe it's about whether or not this person was being honest about money or, where they've been, what's going on for them as far as the obligations or responsibilities that they have. Page of Wands and Chariot in the reverse. I do think that the temptation here is for this person to come through a little bit manipulative and play a bit of like the victim card. Like, oh, life has been really difficult. Without you in my life, like this is what's going on, or I'm really sad, or I can't even do this, or I haven't, worked out, or whatever. I think that's kind of like their playbook. How can I kind of make you feel bad so that you take on some sort of responsibility or feel like you have to do something to make me feel better? And you're like, no, I don't think that's how these things works. Maybe like initially it was all right and I went along with that. But at this point, I'm pretty confident because there's been a pattern of behavior that you're the one who would have to initiate that, or that would have to make clear this is going to improve, right? So we've got the Knight of Rings or Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, and the another 7 in the reverse. We started off with 2 of them. We also just had the Chariot, which is number 7, come out in the reverse. So I do feel like you want to probably pay attention to the number 7. Had the 7 of Swords as well. This and sevens are about timing. 7s are about chance, maybe even like a pivot. So I think this is about this connection or this relationship having run its course. And you look at it as, sometimes things that we see as like a little bump in the road, or this should be navigable, is that the right word? They end up surprising you and becoming a little bit more problematic than you expected, or one argument turns into 5. So I feel like you look at this and you were like, you know what, how can I justify continuing to invest in that, or continuing to try to find, a way to make this work out with you, when it seems like we have to have the same conversation over and over again, It doesn't sound like fun. This is What's the News. Hello, Martin, how you doing? Or, I feel like I'm saying your name wrong, but hello. Hello, B, how are you doing? All right, what do we have? Did I miss something good? It looks like I missed something good. We've got My Boo and Wine and Dine. Let me add Ziggy's question real quick. How you doing, Ziggy? Thank you for the tip. Will the person I'm connected to truly be honest? I sure hope so. It's a challenge for some, though, isn't it? Will they put in effort and prove their love? If I take them back, will we be happy? I'm like at the very bottom of my page, but I think I got it. All right, there we go. And thank you again, Ziggy. Hello, how's it going, Rivera? Hello, Kevin. How are you doing? Hello, Melvin. Yes, thank you for liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Hello, Baby Yoda. How are you? Hello, Genre. Hello, John. You're good, Ziggy. Hello, Malcolm. What's going on? So we've got this dating energy, which makes me feel like there's a couple of different interpretations here. For those of you that this is like a family member or a like platonic friend situation, right? This is saying you had to pull back from this connection with them. And there's been some new energy that has kind of taken that place, or you are thankful that you're not dealing with that toxicity because it allows for you to connect to somebody new. For others of you, this is a person who is, if this is a romantic person that you're dealing with, this is someone who is realizing that you have changed your standards in the context of relationships. What used to fly, what used to work with you, now no longer does. You look at it like, I'm okay with saying goodbye and walking away from it, even if I love you, if you don't know how to treat me the right way. And this is scary for them because they didn't feel like you would be as comfortable walking away as you have been. Good morning, Grace. How are you doing? Hello. I don't know if it's all supposed to be one name. Should I call you Marita? I hope you're having a good day. Thank you, Amy. Let me add that for you. Why hasn't Matt accepted my friend or Facebook friend request? It was FB, right? Okay. Awesome. I've added that for you, Amy. Thank you. And let's see, there we go. Hey, Matt, how are you doing today? Hello, Rick. How's your weekend? So we've got love bombing and playa. So someone's trying to figure out if they have any options. They don't necessarily want to do the right approach here, which is just disappointing. Because it did feel to me, this is someone who's acknowledging I have some emotional immaturity issues. It was my fault. I did a lot of things that I shouldn't have. I blocked us from being able to move forward because I felt like you would accept that behavior when I should have acknowledged you're somebody that's important enough for me that, you know, like I should want to treat you the right way. So we have some love bombing that this person is considering doing, and they're hoping that if you are spending time with a new boo, and this is if it's a romantic connection, they're hoping that they can love bomb you and trick you to at least like consider whether or not you should talk to them again, even if you are in a relationship. They're like, oh, we should talk though, right? If this is more of a family or a friend situation, then we have somebody who is, you know, still doing the love bombing thing, but in a, you know, I want to have access to you and have you be in my life kind of way. Overly attentive, right? But they're leveraging different things to try to almost like corner you into feeling like you have to reconnect with this person. Whether that's, you know, oh, I'm getting closer to your best friend, or, you know, hey, I show up and, you know, want to hang out with you when you're at the dog park. This is like, they're going to perceive it as a challenge and try to find multiple access points where they could get back into your life. And I do think that for many of you on the romantic side, this is someone who's a little bit thirsty and they feel like maybe if they can reconnect with you, they can handle that as well. So I'm not 100% sold on this person's intentions, even though we do have some accountability here. Hello, Karmic. How are you doing? I believe you're referring to a super chat. That is where you can tip and the contact or the comment gets like a little bubble around it. Oh yeah, no worries. Hello, Patrick. How are you doing? No, you just want to look for intention when you're trying to figure out if someone's doing black magic. This is a space where I believe you have to be very respectful of a person's ability to do what they want or need to do in their life and not try to control. So, you know, discouraging love spells and whatnot. Hello, Milangana? I don't know if I'm saying this right. Sorry. Can I call you Millie? You tell me if I'm getting it wrong or what you have as a name and I'll try to remember. Hello, is it Elle? How are you doing? So this is the situations deck, by the way. We've got alien, telepathic, dreams, songs, and legal. Court, paperwork, filed, love, adore, admire, enchantment. So maybe you're moving. Maybe you're moving in with somebody. Maybe you are filing a restraining order. I think that's not for very many of you. But this legal paperwork, I feel like this is something that is noticed or spoken about, that this no contact individual, the Queen of Cups in the reverse, it's making them realize that they don't have much time to improve things with you. Maybe you're moving away and they won't have the ability to actually see you in person. Hello, Shazia, how are you doing? I don't know who that is. Hello, Tomcat, how you doing? Thank you. We've got obsession and searching. So now that I have some reason to believe that you might be investing in some other connection, or now that I feel like there's a chance you're moving away or things will really be over and I won't ever be able to be a part of your life, now I feel like I have to work on this blindfold. Remember how fixated I was on that at the beginning? This person who just like did not want to accept the reality of the situation. They may have thought for sure you'll always be around, for sure, you know, I'll find a way to be in your life, or for sure I'll always be the one you choose when it comes to romance. And now they're realizing, uh-oh, I might be obsessed with this person or feel like there's no one else that I could really be with. But this person may be getting to the point where they see me as this Queen of Cups in the reverse, someone who's not capable of doing that emotional connection in a respectful way. And what if that means that they're okay with things actually being over, or with me not being in their life and like they're not mad about that, you know? That makes sense, Siggy. That happens. Fairly common. And I would think there's been some repetitive themes in the readings lately. So I would think that a number of you are going through a very similar situation with someone who may be avoidant or just, you know, not really do very well with conflict. So we have escapade and divine feminine. It doesn't matter what your gender is. You're coming through as this person who does have a better grasp on your emotions, and you're able to walk away. You're able to understand when it's time to like excuse yourself from the table, right? So they're feeling like you're over here having some grand adventure or everything is fine for you. You came through as the Queen of Wands earlier. You're attracting in new opportunities, could be professional or romantic. And they're over here like, why Well, how are you so happy over there when we're not talking? Why is it that you're not upset about that? You know? Hello, 414. How are you doing? So we've got journal, writing, diary, keeping notes, desire, lust.
Oh, come on. Why you gotta run away like that?
Wow, and the love affair card. Oh my. This is someone who is convinced that you are getting naked with somebody. Some of you, this could be like a person that's not your friend anymore, or you haven't been speaking to them, and they're wondering if you're flirting with someone they want, or they're wondering if, you know, you're going to find some relationship that basically means you don't really need their advice. But I also think for many of you, this is someone who's looking at the mistakes they've made when they were pursuing you, or in like a situationship or friends with benefits, or even like a relationship, but they couldn't tap into that emotional side. They weren't comfortable being demonstrative or showing up for you, and would have been rather hot and cold with you because they like this part. They go with this part. Oh, wait. Now you want me to talk about feelings? Now you want me to say that I have to like show you respect or be honest about that or not be elusive? Ugh, that's too much. It's way too much. I just can't do that. They're much more comfortable with physical intimacy than emotional intimacy. All right, it is 31 minutes. I'm going to pull just a few from the Love Oracle, and then we're going to start on those personal questions. I've got Lee, and then Zatz, Amy, and Ziggy. And I do have another question for Amy, which I might just include with that first one Amy asked, so that Amy doesn't have to scroll through a bunch of different things to find her message. Hello, Martin. How are you doing? That does make it difficult. Yeah, I would concur with Rachel, having missed most of the conversation. So we've got bluff, pretending, mask, exaggeration. You don't say. So the individual, or Queen of Cups in the reverse, who is possibly, you know, avoidant of emotions or gets a little bit uncomfortable when they have to deal with accountability. This is somebody who is going to exaggerate or wear a bit of a mask and pretend that things are in a better situation than they truly are. They're going to try to come through as bold and courageous. They're probably going to say some pretty blunt things like, you know, like the title, it was my fault. Maybe I blamed you. I realize all the mistakes I've made. I really can't go without you. But when it comes down to the actions, when it comes down to the motivations, I don't like this person, okay? Sorry, I can't be with you. Carmen said that she doesn't like you. I'm sorry, but somebody thinking about you, missing you, and craving you, or, you know, being a little bit thirsty, that is not enough crossed off the list of things that would be required for this to move forward. And I think they know that. I think they're smart enough to know that. They just want to see if they can get away with it. They just want to see if they can get access back into your life. So are they apologizing? Yes. Are they coming back around? Yes. Do they deserve to be in your energy? It's a no for me, dog. Show the changed behavior, and then we can talk. But I think this is somebody who is frustrated because they don't know what's going on in your life. They feel like the fact that you're not chasing them, or that you're this Queen of Wands energy and things seem to be going well for you, they're assuming this is because you're moving on. Maybe you're dating someone new. Maybe you're planning a new life. Maybe you're moving away, and they're freaking out about it. Like, okay, so if I don't apologize now, am I going to just completely lose you and never have any opportunity whatsoever? Because that would make them very bitter. And now I'm hearing Janet Jackson's Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone. Non-commitment energy, anybody? This was somebody who is elusive. They don't want you to actually have that closeness, or they don't want to actually be vulnerable. Do they want the like benefits of a commitment or a close connection, like being best friends or, you know, someone you can rely on in your family, yes, they want those things from you, but when it comes to like, oh, I have to like respond in kind, or I have to like treat you the way that I would hope to be treated, or have the same rules for myself that I expect you to follow, then they're like, oh, oh no, I can't possibly. I just don't have the time to do that. Okay, cool. Well, then I don't have space for you in my life. Deuces. That seems like a good place to end the general reading, right? Okay, I actually think we need the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot for you, Lee. Let's see what we've got. Again, I'm excited for you. I hope things continue to go well. Hello, Tiana. How we doing? And that's funny. John, if that comment is directed towards me, I actually started off with that as the plan. So one of my favorite classes was abnormal psychology. The problem was you take abnormal psychology and then you start noticing these things, these behavioral patterns around you, and you're like, I really can't be out here like judging everybody and trying to think that like I know what's going on with them from a mental and emotional standpoint. Like I just gotta pull that back a little bit. All right, so will he be vengeful? Yes. I think you already know that. There's going to be a period of calm. It's the eye before the storm. And I'm picturing like the movie Twister. So it's going to be a serious storm. It's not just like oh good, the flowers needed a little bit of nourishment and some water and rain's great. No, it's going to be like, how many trees fell over? Is there roof damage? So I feel like this is, I'm taking a moment, I'm angry, I can't think straight, and I'm thinking about what I could potentially do to like get back at you or level out the playing field, right? So with the sun in the reverse, this is like, it's only a matter of time before I devise of a plan, and then I'll feel better about the fact that I lost that or that didn't go the way that I wanted it to. So absolutely. And what should Lee worry about, or what should Lee protect against? So we have the Four of Wands, and this is either a reference to relationship or your living situation. I feel like this is more so talking about your relationship. Can I undermine your relationship so that you also experience financial issues, or you don't have a good place, or, you know, like what can I do to make it seem like you can't provide? Ace of Wands in the reverse, Four of Pentacles. It's very important to only tell your ex what he actually needs to know, and be rather tight-lipped with anybody who might talk about those things with Chris. Because I do feel like he thinks that there's something here that he can manipulate, that he can cause to be a failure for you, and I do think it's impacting a love connection. Four of Pentacles, also a reference to the finances, right? Can I make you feel like you're stressed with finances, and can I make you feel like you don't have a partner, you know? You get it, Ziggy? It's a dangerous path to walk down. You're like, I don't know, I could be friends with you, but you look off. I know what's wrong with you already. You get a little too into it. Like, the thing that I think is really important when you know, do the tarot thing or you have very strong intuition is we have to be able to know the capacity, right? How much can you figure out at this point? How much can you deduce, right? You're not all knowing. No one is all knowing. No human. I don't know. Maybe there's some aliens out there and they know everything. I'm just messing with you. Yeah. We have Death and the King of Wands in the reverse. He's horribly mad. He's absolutely furious. He wants to find some way to change the situation, either improve it for himself or worsen it for you. And he's going to come up with a plan that has to do with, I think, more so the relationships around you. but it could also have to do with the house. Is there something that we need to do to strengthen the protection or security of her home? No, not at this time. Maybe in the future, but at this time I feel like it's more so centered around how can I influence the people around you. So communication is extremely important at this time with those individuals, especially if they don't necessarily know how out of pocket this person gets, your ex. Sending you protective energy, Lee. Let's see what we've got for Zatz. We're going to go with the Santa Muerte deck. Yeah, that would make sense to me, but you know, I can't really speak on the things that I have no knowledge of. I might try, but I like to at least make sure there's an asterisk of, I don't know what I'm talking about, but here's what I think. All right, so what are Dwight's next actions this week? 9 of Swords, 4 of Swords, 5 of Cups in the reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. This looks like somebody's in a world of hurt, like emotional hurt. So I'm a nerd. When I see this image, what I picture is Jean-Luc Picard becoming Borg. If anyone else out there also thought that, can we be friends? This is someone who, it seems to me like Dwight is overanalyzing. Thinking about every detail, maybe being a little bit solitary, not focused on things that need to be focused on right now. So what are his next actions? Probably forgetting things and doing things in the wrong order or processing, not good. Maybe even forgetting to stop at a stop sign. There's some obsessive thoughts that keep repeating. And with the 5 of Cups in the reverse and the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, I feel like this is somebody who's trying to justify how they've acted, even though there's this battle within them because they know that, you know, I didn't really do that right thing. So for me, this feels like chewing on my past mistakes and seeing if maybe, just maybe, I should ponder apologizing for something, because the Ace of Pentacles is in the reverse. This is a loss. Very aligned with the general reading as far as these cards coming out right now. 8 of Cups in the reverse, 6 of Wands, and the 10 of Wands in the reverse. I think this is someone contemplating, like, do I need to do something to make this better? Have I gotten myself in a situation where I don't really have many options? Or do I just need to get, like, a little bit creative? But this is somebody who's overwhelmed. This is someone who feels like, I don't really know how to get to a place where things are what I want them to be. I feel like I just kind of like messed up everything that I kind of had going for me. And no soup for you shirt? That's amazing. This makes me want to listen to She Wants Revenge. Hello, Ganja Girl. How are you doing? Hello, Shambhala. How are we doing? Oh, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. All right, so what should Zatz do to, like, regarding the whole situation? Wow, sorry, something stuck in my eye. 4 of Cups in the reverse, 8 of Swords, 7 of Wands in the reverse. So the 4 of Cups in the reverse is like, we don't need to like rush into anything. 4 Cups in the reverse can be about like curiosity. Ask the questions that you know need to be asked and have that conversation with yourself in a very honest way. If somebody were treating a very dear, like close friend of mine, or, you know, someone I care about deeply, if someone were in a relationship with a person I cared about and they were treating them this way, what would be the advice that I give them? Am I doing things the way that I would tell someone else to do them? Or am I allowing myself to be in a situation that isn't like really justifiable? I feel like there's a need to at least identify here's what is like the bare minimum or the, you know, deal breakers. And here's what needs to happen for things to be okay. If you have a clear understanding of what those things are for you, then I think you'll be better prepared if and when there's this conversation where Dwight's like, hey, you know, like this has to change, or I have to do this, or here's what I feel bad about. You'll know what's acceptable and what's not. If you go into that conversation and you're just kind of like, well, I hope you're just like not a jerk. Okay, define jerk. Is it like Steve Martin jerk or like worse? Damn it, now we're gonna have to watch that movie. I haven't seen it in so long, but it's so ridiculous. Hello. Oh, is it Sundar? I will try to call you that instead. And did I call you genre? And it's Ganri? Ganri? You tell me. I'm probably saying it wrong and I apologize. Hello, Dubstyle. How are you doing? It's true. And then it wasn't, who's the chick from Blazing Saddles? Wasn't she in it too? I can only think of Madeline Stowe, and I know that's wrong. All right, so Knight of Swords in the reverse, Page of Cups. This kind of feels to me like it's saying don't apologize. If someone owes you an apology, and it's important to see that they can deal with that accountability and talk through what happened and what needs to change without you offering them training wheels or like those bumper things they put in bowling alleys so someone at least gets one pin down. Like, don't make it easy for this person. You're a big boy. You can do the bowling the way that people do normally. And if you miss, then you just miss. He might miss, you know? Should she try to work it out? I feel like the ball is in his court. Immature Carmen wants to say, the balls are in his court, okay? He has to make that call. He has to do the right thing. You can't make it easy for him, because then it's not real. Then he's just kind of like, okay, thank you for giving me the outline so that I can color what I need to draw. Ten of Cups and the Ace of Wands. Focus on you. Focus on your home situation. Focus on, there's going to be some new opportunity that comes in for you. And this is not related to love. This is not related to, you know, like going on some girls trip. This is an opportunity that makes you feel better about yourself. And that is something that needs to be prioritized, not like looking to be distracted by somebody who may or may not be genuine. So allow the apology to initiate from his side, or the conversation to initiate from his side, and focus on you. And you'll see if there's something of value, right? Nothing easy is free, or you guys, it's too early. I guess I can't quote that for you. Sorry. All right, we've got Amy. I'm going to try to remember we've got 2 questions from Amy and do them both. Let's get some cards. Oh yes, I forgot. I have new decks. It's important to use them. So this is the Thoth Tarot. Madeline Kahn, thank you. Yes, I adore her. I wish I was better at remembering her name. She's always so funny. You've managed a gutter ball with bumpers? Tiana. Like in the next lane? How does this happen? I need to understand the science of it. I thought we could rely on these physics. Okay. So I didn't ask the question because I was too busy laughing at Tiana. My apologies to everyone involved. All right. Does Amy's roommate hate Amy? I sure hope not. So we have the 6 of Cups in the reverse and the universe. Is this saying there's some outside circumstance that's causing moodiness? No, there is. So I do feel like there's irritation or resentment that has built up. And I do feel like there is something here where your roommate is obsessed. Wow, that's weird. I literally meant to say upset, and I said obsessed instead. What is the roommate obsessed with? Magician in the reverse. And the Four of Swords. Is this like hiding resentment? I feel like this is someone who likes to make sure that there is like peace being maintained, but underneath there's this like pressure. Hierophant in the reverse. Eight of Wands in the reverse. This person doesn't know how to communicate about this. Princess of Cups. And the Eight of Swords in the reverse. I do feel like you're going to find out something that helps you to understand why your roommate has been moody. I do feel like it has like exacerbated the situation. It's made it seem more difficult than it is. Are there problems here between the two of you as is? Yes. But I feel like there's an external circumstance that is like a multiplier, right? Makes things more difficult. But you're going to have some sort of, it kind of looks like the roommate's going to just like, here's what's going on. It's really bothering me. And it could be partly you're doing things to upset this person, but also someone else. And it's like creating a little bit of like a, I gotta talk about it, but I don't wanna. Can Amy trust the roommate? Yes. The Chariot. Knight of Wands. I would say the biggest risk is, as far as trust with this person, there could be a situation that makes them feel it's okay to like dip real quick and not give you a respectful amount of time. So especially if you've seen some issues here with finances, I would just say do what you can to make sure that things are not problematic if they were to be late in a payment or, you know, move out like the month before they're supposed to, something like that. Not sure how reliable the contract or the lease or whatever is, but you want to at least make sure that that's something covered. Six of Discs, which is the Six of Wands, and it says success. I do feel like things are going to work out. It's just a little bit of a rough period right now, and I think somebody's really moody, and I do think that they're going to tell you what's going on. Oh, I don't know what this one means. I'm going to have to look this one up. But if I had to guess, generally it's about spiritual growth, right? I do feel like this could be someone who's going through the dark night of the soul. Let me see what we've got for this other question here. Everything he tries to do, will it work? Thank you, Lee. Let me add that for you. His plans work. Miss me. I've added that for you. Thank you, Lee. Yeah, I think that's what I'm picking up on with that Knight of Wands. This is like, I'm not going to necessarily be honest with you about the timeline of it, or I'm not going to give you the amount of a heads up that I probably should. So it'd be good to at least have some sort of a backup plan, or if you're secure enough financially to set aside like a month's rent just in case you have to deal with that. But I do feel like this would be somebody who, that's the trust issue is, am I going to know, you know, what's going on with the living situation with enough time to handle it? So for Amy, we have, why hasn't Matt accepted the Facebook friend request? Queen of Discs or Queen of Wands in the reverse. Two of Wands in the reverse and the Moon in the reverse. Because it would cause some problems with someone else. Oh. So this is like I don't want someone to be able to see that we have a connection because it might cause a problem for me in that connection. Maybe an ex, maybe a current flirtation. The Tower. I don't want to deal with that conversation. I don't want to deal with that problem. Yeah, I think it could just be, oh, yeah, is this like a committed relationship? No, I don't feel like it's gotten the point of committed relationship, but it's like I feel like it could be problematic. 9 of discs or 9 of pentacles in the reverse. This is like, I might get to that point, but right now it's not quite there. And I know I have to like at some point make a choice or be more clear about boundaries or what I'm pursuing. Okay, I have that. And I don't know. Ace of Cups in the reverse. This is someone who seems to be okay with just kind of like leaving you on hold for a little bit, figuring out a plan. And I don't know that that's, doesn't seem like that's fair to you. All right. I have to remember where I put my new, here they are. I rearranged a few of the tarot decks and oracle decks, and that messes with me because I get very used to where they are. I think he views it as it's going to risk something else, so he's hesitant. The energy that I'm picking up on, it's not like resentful, but that hesitation would make me feel like, okay, maybe I just need to like pull back. All right, so we've got Ziggy up next. Will the person that Ziggy is connecting to truly be honest? Yes. Queen of Cups. And will they put in the effort and prove their love? Temperance. I would say yes. I will just caution you that this is somebody who can be... so what I saw in my mind was, what was that movie called? I think it was called The Hours. Where they had Virginia Woolf in there. I do feel like this person gets a little bit, like they're prone to exaggeration. Or maybe even a little bit of defeatism, kind of assuming that things are bad or worse than they are. So it's like, I feel like this is somebody who they put in effort, but they need a lot of, like they need a lot of confirmation. Like, you're still super into me, right? Will they put in, or will they prove their love? I feel like I kind of only somewhat referred to that. Yes, but this is going to require some healing that has not happened yet. So I feel like they prove it, but it isn't going to happen in the very near future. I feel like there's still some discovery and understanding of emotions that has to happen for this person. And if I take them back, will we be happy? I feel like timing is going to be important. So we might see like the Wheel of Fortune or the Seven of Wands. Oh my, 6 of Swords. Okay, so that's strange to me. They chose to put the Titanic on the 6 of Swords. The Titanic was billed as unsinkable. I had quite the obsession with the Titanic. So like I've done presentations on it, I've read books on it. Not by any means claiming to be an expert, but I do think it's a strange choice for the Six of Swords, because the Six of Swords is about moving into calmer waters. Maybe those were some calm waters, but they were very, very cold waters. So I feel like this is saying there is a person's heart that is kind of going through a melting process. It's frozen, you can't touch it. There's no emotions going in and out of it, because this is a person who is like this, right? But there is a melting process happening. Things can go better, because the reality is the Titanic, it did not have to be that big of a disaster. There were a lot of things that played into it, a lot of things that went wrong. So the way I'm looking at it as, this is salvageable. This is somebody who could do the healing work. This is somebody who would find a way to prove their love to you. But they have to get through a real cold night, a real difficult time, and do the things right. You know, like, oh, hey, there's a big iceberg up there. We're going to turn in time. He has to be able to anticipate the problems. And if he does, then things move forward. But I feel like this is, again, kind of lining up with that blindfold thing from the general reading. You take off the blinders, you know, bathe in reality, then you can make the right decisions for those relationships. But he has to choose to do that first, right? The defrost setting, yes. Hello, James. How are you doing? Hello, Kalat. How are you doing? All right. Let's see what we've got for Lee. What should we use? We'll go with the Everyday Tarot. Will his plans work? Will his plans against Lee work? We have the Six of Swords, Temperance in the reverse, and the Ace of Swords. I feel like they work in the short term, cause some stress or some anxiety, until things can be proven that, oh, that didn't really go over very well. Because the Ace of Swords, this is somebody who's already been kind of exposed for being dishonest, right? So if you tell me that something is this way, but I know that you have a history of lying, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to be like, yeah, you got some receipts? Show me. Or you might as well be in, what is it, Missouri? Aren't they the show me state? Show me. I don't think it's going to be as easy as he might think. He might try a lot of things and fail at a lot of things. It was going to be insulting there, but I decided to hold back, and I think my mom would be proud of me. Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. Is this talking about his money? Look, the thing is, he's going to be wishing for negative things to happen to you financially. And as we see in so many different readings, when you send that negative intent towards people, when you're like, I want you to fail, I want you to be ugly, that comes back on you. So I feel like initially there's a little delay for you, or like a hiccup, and then things just like come flying right back. It's like, what I'm seeing in my mind is someone like whipping a dodgeball at you, but it misses you, bounces off the wall behind you, and hits them in the face. Like, good work, bro. Maybe just like focus on your own stuff, you know? Hello, Bugman. How are you doing? Hello, Rose. What's up? I think he's going to attempt to mess with your money, and there's that delay, but at the end, it's going to be his money that takes the hit. So, High Priestess, Eight of Swords in the reverse, Six of Wands in the reverse. I feel like you're this High Priestess. You know about it, so what you need to do is leverage some meditation time, maybe even daily, and imagine protection around you, a white, bubble around your house, or even your bank account. But he's not going to be able to get to you or have any actual serious consequences for you, and he's going to end up probably actually wasting his own money in this pursuit of trying to have a problem for you, right? All right. Let's see what else we have. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. I love it, Rachel. So for us, I'm going to see what we've got for you, or perhaps I should call you Catherine. Are we going to be in love and marriage in future? Nine of Wands in the reverse. King of Swords, Nine of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. I don't see that, and I'm sad to say that. But what I see with the Nine of Wands in the reverse is somebody who doesn't defend what is most important to them, or somebody who lacks courage in a situation, probably a difficult conversation. This could be like asking for someone's hand in marriage. They don't do it, therefore they get off on the wrong feet with the family and now nobody likes them. Or not wanting to talk to their own family about the situation. With the Nine of Pentacles, I feel like there is someone like single and knowing like this could be good, but the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, it's like I don't ever set out on that journey. I don't want to put myself in that difficult situation or, you know, risk the danger. So is this somebody who's worried about family? Yes. King of Pentacles, perhaps specifically a father. Hermit in the reverse. Three of Swords in the reverse, Four of Wands. I just feel like this is somebody who is going to let fear take a hold of them, and as a result, they don't really work to make what they want happen actually happen. We've got the Hermit in the reverse, so I do feel like this is somebody who lets another person influence them or give them advice on how they should approach their romantic choices or the people that they choose to pursue, and I feel like it means, you know, I don't approve of that, or I feel like you have to go with this person. There could even be like family preference. You're, you know, old enough to get married. We think this person would be great for you. So there's some control being exerted over your person. Hello, is it Sheena? Definitely was a cat in previous lives. I like it. Yep. Hello, Edwin. How are you doing? So, Kalat Bari. Let me see what I can do. And I'm better than his husband or her husband. So what does Kalat need to know about this love triangle? What does Kalat need to know? Emperor in the reverse. Five of Wands. Eight of Swords in the reverse. Four of Swords and 10 of Wands. So, Kalat, we've got somebody here who has quite the temper. This is somebody who's been quite combative or antagonistic with a group of people. It could be family, workplace, or social, like a group of friends. And I feel like this is like a mask-off situation. So in other words, maybe for a long time, I had not spoken on a matter or, you know, worn a little bit of a mask to make it seem like I was kinder or more patient or cared about something. But now we have somebody who is, I feel like, just kind of cracking the whip, right? And as a result, with the Four of Swords and the 10 of Wands, I feel like this person unleashing their anger in a somewhat public setting, because there's multiple people here, has consequences that they did not anticipate. So we could have a lot of chaos within a family or a social dynamic. Seven of Cups in the reverse, King of Cups. Yeah, this is somebody who I feel is going through a pretty difficult situation regarding their reputation and how people view them because they lost their temper. They may not have been sober. or it's just a real bad day. All right, let's see what we've got for Cool Girl. How is Marvin feeling about me currently? How is Marvin currently feeling about Cool Girl? Five of Cups, Ace of Wands, Four of Wands. Hashtag regret. Five of Cups is about thinking back on the decisions from before and realizing, you know, that was not it. That was a poor choice. Yeah, definitely regretful. And what can I do? What could I say if I were potentially capable of getting another chance? Would there actually be something that we could resolve or, you know, see eye to eye? Can we figure this out? So whatever the argument or this distance is, I feel like somebody is paying close attention to their intuition, as well as asking advice from others. So the feelings are, you know, like, do you want to make this better too? Do you want to see if we can fix this? Ah, yes. That's not, yeah. You got to be able to trust someone. Just end of story, right? And I'm proud of you for having those boundaries. All right. I think since we were already at 71 minutes, I probably need to call it. But I love you all. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. If you're able to hype the video, I appreciate that as well. And I will see you on the next reading. Toodles.